Harry's wife. She thought she'd be number one. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The Mirror, in an article by Scarlett O'Toole, tells us Harry's wife thought they'd be number one people in Hollywood, says former friend. The headline itself provides us with material to break down vis-a-vis the narcissist. First of all, former friend. Certain narcissists have lots of former friends because those friends, seen as appliances subconsciously, are churned and burned. The appliance will be taken off the shelf, utilised in some shape or form, controlled, fuel drawn from them, possibly some character traits acquired, particularly if that friend is doing well. There might be some residual benefits involved also, assisting with facade management, or perhaps the provision of money, or perhaps a place to stay, or an access to somebody. And then, once the friend serves no further purpose, the friend will be popped back on the shelf. They might be taken off the shelf 2 days later, or they could stay on the shelf for months. In more unusual circumstances, they're disengaged from, where essentially the narcissist ensures that that person can't have any contact with the narcissist thereafter. They find themselves blocked. Any attempt to call the narcissist is met with silence. They call round to see the narcissist, who doesn't open the door to them. That non-intimate secondary source has thus found themselves disengaged from. Harry's wife has a history of disengaging from friends, whereby she cozies up to them, no doubt whispers sweet nothings in their ear, not of the romantic kind, but quite simply, you're my bestie and we get along so well, and BFFs and all the rest of it. And then, of course, when she deems that she's more important than them and they can't offer anything more as she attempts to climb the latest greasy pole, they're pushed to one side, not only shelved, but disengaged from. She's done this, of course, with her family. But the fact that there's reference to a former friend is indicative of the way that Harry's wife treats people. They're there to be used. She doesn't think of herself as using them. She simply thinks, well, I'm busy, and therefore I don't have time to involve myself with this person. Or her narcissism causes her to believe that that friend has done something that merits their exclusion. That her paranoia causes her to think, I can't trust them any longer. They might tell stories about me, because after all, I am the Duchess of Sussex, the Empress of Woke, the most important person in the world. It will create some unknown and unspecified slight which justifies this exclusion, because remember, Harry's wife doesn't sit there and think of herself as an evil person. She does not sit there, fingertips together, going, wah ha 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 ha. What plan shall I hatch this week to make somebody's life a misery? No. Of course she knows that she wants money, she knows that she wants fame, she doesn't realise they are residual benefits, but she believes that everything that she does is appropriate and justified, and that where she gets rid of somebody, they've deserved it. They've brought it on themselves. When she applies the tasers to Harry's pink pods, he deserves it, because he's been a naughty ginger boy. Furthermore, the headline makes reference to them believing that they'd be number one people in Hollywood. That shows the strength of delusion of Harry's wife, that she believes that she could just sweep in, coming across the ocean, and go, hello everybody, I'm Harry's wife, and you should all love me and be best friends with me. She believes that she belongs within the Hollywood elite. She doesn't. She's a mediocre actress and can't be trusted. And whilst there are plenty of other narcissists operating within the Hollywood elite, they at least do so on a different approach, not giving away information, or at least not obviously in the way that Harry's wife does. Therefore, Harry's wife is viewed with suspicion. She can't be trusted. And moreover, as a Janey-come lately, with no talent, people are thinking, you think that you should be equated to us? No, 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 no. Let's find out what the article has to say in relation to them believing they'd be the number one people in Hollywood. Harry's wife and Prince Harry are quite far down the pecking order in Hollywood, a former friend of the Duchess of Sussex has claimed. TV presenter Nick Eade, me neither, says the pair had believed they would be the number one people on the block. Sense of entitlement, grandiosity, magical thinking, Delusion. But the title of Hollywood royalty belongs to the likes of the Kardashians and Beyoncé. The Duke and Duchess snapped up their secluded Montecito mansion for $14.65 million in 2020, just a few months after stepping back from the royal family. Quite why they feel the need to repeat this, I don't know, because we get told it every single time. It's simply filler. Living in the home, the couple now count US TV royalty such as Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres as their neighbours. Yet more filler. Nick, who hosts the Royal Agenda on Royalty TV, believes Harry and Harry's wife have underestimated the amount of influence they would have after relocating from the United Kingdom to the United States. That's entirely appropriate, given the fact that Harry's wife isn't particularly clever and she's motivated by the delusion of her narcissism. I think the thing is that you forget that in Hollywood, royalty isn't somebody with a title. It's J-Lo, it's Sharon Stone, it's Beyoncé, it's the Kardashians. That's their royalty. And also, the Obamas or the Clintons. If you've been in office, apart from Trump, then you're seen as being a top dog. I think they have underestimated that in many ways, he said in a new interview. Nick also claimed the couple thought that they would be number one people on the blog, but insisted they are not. They're kind of quite far down, really, in that pecking order, and I think that's been an issue with them, in that sense of stepping down, he told The Express. Harry and Harry's wife's life in America is a far cry from their life in the United Kingdom and their former small home of Nottingham Cottage. Harry's wife says her new home makes her feel free and is calm and healing to live in the luxury home in the gated community in Santa Barbara. Such to the extent that it makes her feel free and is calm and healing, she spends every conceivable moment whinging about her circumstances. In an interview with The Cut, the 41-year-old gushed over her 18,000 square foot home, where she lives with Harry, 38, and their children Archie, 3, and Lilibet, 1. The property boasts 9 bedrooms, yada, yada, yada. We don't need the property details. It's something that we've heard so many times before. The fact that Nikki feels appropriate, that it's appropriate to come out and explain that they thought that they were going to be the big cheese, the grand fromage, numero uno, top of the pile, demonstrates the turned tide as more and more people call them out in terms of their behaviours, ridicule them, and point out that they're really not all that. And furthermore, it demonstrates the delusion of the narcissist who thought that she could just waltz in somewhere and be hailed as top of the tree. This, of course, is common with certain narcissists. They will turn up uninvited, believing that they belong at something. They walk in to somebody's home and treat it as if it's their own. It's all the lack of boundary recognition. And with Harry's wife, she turns up in Hollywood believing that she rightly belongs there, that she should be top of the tree and everybody should act accordingly. Of course, she's had something of the comeuppance to find that that was not the case, and furthermore, with people coming out with interviews and more reportage of this nature, it demonstrates how she's falling. A quick look below the line to see if there's any sympathy for her. Blue Bunny 006. Harry's wife is the big aspiring social climber. That's the reason she married Harold. It hasn't gone according to her plan. How awful for her. Lemonade. Harry's wife was a D-list actress, Harry a prince that had been popular and well liked. When they started trashing their families and cut themselves off from the British royal family, they lost any cachet that they had. They have poor personalities, showed their willingness to sell anyone out for money and fame, and are not popular with the public. They ended up being poison to A-listers. Snation. So the penny has finally dropped, and the only news about them is what fools they have both become known for. They both, well, mainly Meghan, thought they would be front-page news about the wonderful work they do. Instead, we have them laughed at all around the world. First-class clowns. 123 Josh. Oh dear. Imagine the humiliation of being much further down the list headed by the likes of the Kardashians. A shame, Guess they will need to undertake a worldwide privacy tour, but perhaps this time for real. Ellen back. Apparently it was the 2 entwined trees that made them buy the mansion. That's us, my love. And they have taught Archie and Lilibet to say hello mum, hello dad to them. I'm not sure if they want their kids to think of them as the wooden tops or as thick as two planks. Well, below the line, the usual story of people continuing to take the piss out of them. The ship continues to sink. Of course, Harry's wife won't accept this. She can't see it. She will scream and fight, repeatedly seeing all of these individuals as just simply haters, believing that she remains loved by some people somewhere, entirely wrapped up in her own deluded mind. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.